Okay, welcome to day 2 of your butter transformation. Today we're welcoming you into my healing space, into the room that I do body work with people. And I'm so glad to have you here and to share some fun ways to take care of yourself. And we're all about the feet right now. So I guess to reiterate why I love working on the feet and why I think it's so important is that I call it your first shock absorber. So if each joint in your body, from your feet, your knees, your hips, low back, neck, those are all your stacked joints. And so if your feet go out, if the joint underneath is rigid and doesn't have bounce in it, then the next joint takes that that abruptness and that shock into it. And so that just keeps happening as you tighten down. So our hips are tight because we sit or we lean forward. And so that, already sets up the neck to be a problem. So the beginning of it all is your poor little feet. And they take the whole weight of your body. So they're working hard even if you're just standing. So they are really important. Now also for your mental well-being, when your body is rigid and it's kind of lost that bounce to it, you're more on edge. So, that kind of, I would talk to my clients like, when someone's like tapping on you, and that last tap that you're like, I've had it, that's kind of where you are. If you're not getting that resilience and that bounce back, your body loses the ability to be resilient and to take on more stress, which we all incur every day. And so that stress starts to build up and get more like those taps and just kind of take us down. So we want to get our energy back. We want to get that bounce back in our body. We want to be more fluid. And to me, that I always say it's like filling yourself back up. So if you're feeling a little draggy during the day, work on your feet. It'll bring the energy back up. It'll make you feel better. It'll lift your mood and it'll just give you some more bounce. So those are some simple things about the feet that I think are important. The other side, there's the massage side. So I know that a lot of people are worried about they won't be strong enough to do massage, or it'll hurt their hands. You'll wear out in a couple minutes and you'll be too tired. So there's a lot of tricks to the trade. There are tools. I'm going to share some fun tools that I love to use for the feet. And we'll give a link for them too. And some gua sha things that you can use instead of your fingers that are really helpful for kind of getting in and softening things up. And there's all different sizes and kinds, but I will show you little tricks for that. Also, I'll teach you, as I've taught many others, how to not just use your fingers, but to lean in and use your body weight, or to use a different part of your body. So your knuckles are strong bones. And so those can be great tools. And then kind of using your body instead of using just your hand muscles will be helpful little tools. And there's always this elbow. That's a great one when you're tired and you just want to put a big elbow in there. It's a lot easier than these little fingers. So we will work our way through different ways of touching and massaging that hopefully will be really helpful to you. So you've already had a day. So we went over yesterday. I want to know that you hopefully had a chance to butter up and put your socks on and have one day of kind of starting that melt of your skin and softening, and the melting of all the calluses, and the cracks are starting. You see in one day how the changes. So I've actually not been buttering my feet and been not wearing any shoes and walking around barefoot like I do a lot. But and so I'm going to be just like you, starting from like kind of dried out cracky feet, because it'll happen if you don't take care of them. So we're gonna do this together and we're gonna make ourselves look better and feel better. Let's get going. All right, let's get to it. So I'm grabbing out some butter. I'm just kind of putting it on my foot just to give it a second. Mine's already warm. So I'm just going to take it a little extra loving on these poor little heels of mine because they just need it. So at first I'm just thinking skin, right? I am just wanting to get my very, very dry, cracky, calloused. I have calluses from being a dancer when I was younger. And it's kind of incredible to see that they will completely go away. So first give your whole entire heel and be generous. Like mine is pretty cracky. Like if you have some cracks, go for it. Coat it up, leave some on there. And at the end, before you put your socks on, I don't mind putting like a dollop, you know, where you need a little extra. You need the product to make it work. So we are going to coat up. Obviously you can do your legs too. I know, especially like as the seasons change, can get kind of, we call it gatory, like have scaly looking skin. So butter them up and it will go away. So most importantly right now, just kind of checking it out. And so just like I said on the first day, just kind of going around and feeling out what you are noticing. So while I'm touching my feet, I'm not only feeling for hard skin and cracked skin and calluses that might need a little extra. And when I find them, I'm kind of rubbing into them. I'm also trying to notice if something feels a little more sore, a little more tight. Just kind of gathering information. That's what I do when I'm touching someone, including myself, and applying oil or butter. My first steps are just kind of like, what am I noticing? So what's important about massaging your feet? We're gonna do every part of the feet, but tonight I just want to talk about warming. So I feel like the first phase is like making sure that your muscles get warm, that you're warming the fascia, and we're just kind of letting your feet know that they don't have to be solid. I said yesterday I call it Flintstone feet, so I feel like there's like almost like a rock solid feeling to most of our feet when we don't take care of them. And so I think the best way to deal with that once we're buttered is to use your knuckles. So almost making like a soft fist, and use your knuckles to, let's see if I'm in any good positions here. Can you see your feet? Okay, so I'm going like underneath. You can go all the way down and just kind of letting your foot wrap around and just kind of warming down on the arch. So I go in between the two fingers with my arch, around my arch, and I'm kind of just letting it move. See how my toes are moving? So letting that kind of warm up, and then doing that up and down the feet as many times as you need to. And then you can also go little circles in the same way. So you're using your knuckles and you're getting little circles. So for me, that was sore. So there's a spot right under the big toe. The big toe is so important, and we'll talk about it more, but really important for balance. And there's, oh boy, all sorts of goodies in here, but all along this ridge underneath your toes is your reflex point to your diaphragm, to your breathing. So when this is tight, just in the same way that we lean forward and we're tight, we are blocking oxygen from oxygenating our body easily. So this is a great another way to open up your breathing and your diaphragm. And also if you're like not feeling great and you need a little extra, that's great for any kind of sinus stuff, or you're having allergies. You just kind of want to get your breathing opened up. So that area is a really good one. And same thing, if your hands get tired, use your knuckle, Put it under there and then use your feet. So bend your feet over them. So you can go, instead of using your hand to continue to work, you can just place it and then you can bend and use your foot to actually work. Woo! I got a good one. And when you get a good one, like I just did, then you want to gently come back and like work that area. And so there's a way of when you find something, to me it feels like either it's going to feel sensitive to, you know, your being and you feel that kind of pain or sore or achiness. There's also almost like you can hear it, or it feels firmer or rigid, or like you're jumping over something. So that's a good way to work. There's called like going with the tissue or going across the tissue. And so either way, both ways, you kind of want to work into anything that you find that feels like it's sore or hard or kind of makes a noise and feels like, ooh, I wonder if that could warm up. Well, I'm just trying to soften things up and warm things up. And then your body will find its way back to flexibility. So we're just warming. You can use your thumbs, which I don't suggest doing a ton of because that's hard on your thumbs. So I would suggest more using like the back of your hand to do big broad strokes, your knuckles, either all together or just two of them like I showed on the arch, which you can do on the outside. You can do that anywhere. And then you can always pick one and you can change which one. It's sort of your second finger and your third finger will be probably your strongest. And then you can use those to just kind of go all the way through and warm. And then the knuckles, probably the easiest way to do your heel, because your heel's real tough. And so that's a hard one. Also, your elbow is a good one for your heel. So you can just kind of give it little, like you're gonna drop on it and then wiggle, drop on it, wiggle, drop on it and wiggle, so that you're just kind of activating it. And again, tonight what I'm doing is just warming, just kind of figuring it out. Today's a great day to go through your toes because we're not gonna work on those today. So literally every little part, you know, all of these parts are different bones. There's so many ligaments inside of your feet, and ligaments do not get, they don't have innervation, so they don't have blood supply to them. So how they turn over and they get more flexible and more fluid, and how they clean out is either by moving them or massaging them and actually bringing that change of circulation and warming them up. And that's how they take care of themselves and heal. So it's really important to give them some love. And the top of your feet are just as important. So with all of those tiny little bones, like we were just talking about, and shoving them into shoes and standing on them and standing weird, our feet tend to get tight. So they get compressed together. That's how we start to get those weird bunions. We start to get things popping out in different directions. Our toes are going funny directions. We want to get in between every toe and really rubbing on all the sides. Also, the butter is great for your nails. Do it for your nails. Push back your cuticles. Do it all while you're taking care of yourself. So you can do all that. But those toes, I would go all the way up and around. Switch out your fingers so you don't get tired. You can always use a finger in a different way, like up, down the sides. In that way. All right, rubbing the top. You can just kind of think of like a comb, right? Like using your fingers like a comb to just kind of give it a nice rub. I even feel little tingles, a little tingly. That's because nerves and things get caught in your fascia. They get caught and sticky all together because your poor little feet are getting compressed all the time. So you want to just kind of give it all some relief. And warming it up is one of the best ways to do it. So I just felt something kind of tight in my toe. Because these poor toes get abused, get really used hard. So I find just keep working at it, right? Find the part that feels tight and then just give it a little extra. You know, try to warm it, try to wiggle it, give it some gentle movement. So you can go circles, you can go in both directions, you can stretch, you can bend, and you're kind of wanting to just see, where am I starting at the beginning of the week? How can I move? Which ones are the tightest? And we'll just keep working on them throughout the week and try to keep making changes, because your body will change if you ask it to. You just have to keep asking it and it will respond. All right, so that's a lot. Make sure you switch feet, that you butter up, that you get your heel real good, that you're warming the bottoms and getting in between and on top of each toe. You are not forgetting your nails and your cuticles. Let's do it all while we're taking care of ourselves. Going in between your toes, making space, doing circles both ways. Ooh, that one feels a little crunchy. That's good. You want things to move around. You want them to speak. You want them to change. So just follow, and then you're gonna comb on top. You're gonna open up, and we're just gonna get some fluids moving. We're gonna soften. All of this will actually help open up your ankles too, which will help you with balance, and all of this helps with your posture. So it starts with your feet. Let's get to the base of everything, and let's not only have butter feet, let's feel better. All right, thanks.